David and Claire had been married for 10 years, a decade of shared laughter, quiet nights, and wild city adventures. Their life together looked almost picture-perfect. David, a quick-witted graphic designer, and Claire, a yoga instructor with a radiant smile, were the kind of couple friends envied. Love, ambition, chemistry, they had it all. But lately, things had started to shift. Claire's late nights out, her so-called girls' trips, her distracted, distant energy, all left David uneasy. He told himself he was overthinking, trusting in the bond they'd built over 10 years. That trust shattered one sticky summer night when he decided to surprise her at a friend's loft party and walk straight into a memory that would haunt him forever. The rooftop loft was alive with music, champagne, and laughter. Strings of fairy lights cast a warm glow across the crowd. David, running late after a client meeting, scanned the room for Claire's auburn curls. She'd texted him earlier, saying she'd be there with friends. But as he wove through the crowd, a pit grew in his stomach. Something was off. A friend caught his eye, then quickly looked away. That single, uneasy glance told him everything. David followed the silent direction toward a half-closed door at the back. Heart hammering, he pushed it open and froze. Claire, completely naked, tangled with a man David vaguely recognized. One of her co-workers from a yoga studio. Their bodies pressed together on a velvet couch, oblivious to the world. For a long moment, David couldn't breathe. His chest felt hollow, but rage didn't come. Instead, a strange, icy calm settled over him, the kind that sharpens every detail. The music faded, the laughter dimmed, and the scene burned itself into his mind like a twisted photograph. Every shape, every sound framed with brutal clarity. Then Claire looked up. Her face went pale. She scrambled for words, stammering half-formed excuses. The man fumbled for his shirt, mumbling apologies. But David didn't even glance at him. His eyes stayed locked on her. And he realized shouting wouldn't fix anything. He wanted something colder, something that would cut deeper. "Wow, Claire," he said, his voice steady, cutting through the bass and chatter. "You've really perfected the art of downward dog." Gasps rippled through the room. A few awkward laughs. Claire's face flushed crimson as the words sank in. The jab wasn't just for her. It was for everyone watching. Friends, colleagues, strangers. The same people who once admired their marriage now witnessed its collapse. David didn't flinch. With quiet precision, he raised his glass to the crowd. "To new beginnings," he said, forcing a small smile, "and to knowing when it's time to walk away." He downed the champagne, set the glass on a nearby table, and walked out. Behind him, Claire scrambled for her clothes while the man stood frozen in shame. The whispers followed him out the door, but David never looked back. His heart was breaking, but his composure was unshakable. That exit, calm, sharp, unforgettable, became his armor. In the days that followed, Claire called him constantly. Apologies, tears, excuses. She claimed it had been a drunken mistake. David ignored every message. He moved into a friend's spare room, hired a lawyer, and began separating their lives piece by piece. Word spread quickly. People whispered about the scene, about how David had handled it with grace, wit, and brutal self-control. Even those who barely knew him respected the way he walked out, without losing himself. Claire, on the other hand, faced a fallout. Her yoga studio lost clients, and her reputation took a hit. David didn't take pleasure in her downfall. He just wanted his peace back. He threw himself into work, designing bold new projects that carried his pain and clarity into every line and color. Friends told him later about all the signs he'd missed. Her emotional distance, her subtle detachment. Therapy helped him unpack everything. Not just a betrayal, but how long he'd ignored the small alarms ringing inside him. Their marriage hadn't fallen apart that night. It had been unraveling for years. When Claire tried to reconcile, showing up at his favorite cafe with red-rimmed eyes, begging for another chance, David's response was calm and final. "You made your choice in that room," he said softly. "I'm making mine now." Then he walked away, not bitter, not cruel, just done. Later, he learned the man from the party had been nothing serious, just a meaningless fling. But it didn't matter. The trust was gone. The foundation of their marriage had already turned to dust. Months passed. David moved into a new apartment. Bright, uncluttered, the walls decorated with his artwork. Every painting felt like a piece of his rebirth. He started dating again, slowly, laughter over drinks, early morning runs, moments that reminded him life could still be beautiful. The story of that night, the party, the line, the exit, became something he told only rarely, not as a wound, but as a turning point. A story about dignity in the face of betrayal. Because that one sharp, unexpected remark hadn't just silenced the room. It had marked the exact moment he took his power back, standing on his new balcony months later. City lights flickering beneath him, David felt an unfamiliar peace. Claire's betrayal had revealed their marriage's weakness, but his response had revealed his strength. He didn't scream. He didn't fight. He simply walked away, leaving her and everyone else speechless. And in that moment, he found freedom.